Hi, it's Grandpa Bill again. I finally got the second half of this parable that I've been writing finished. I thought I'd read it to you.
He was warmer than a summer breeze. He was softer than his silver hair. He was brighter than the twinkle in his eye as he rested in his easy chair. And I remember how he used to smile and tell me all about the folks back then. And if I had my way, you know I'd be there today, and I'd do it all over again.
After giving final instructions for all who would believe on his name, the king's son returned to his father's kingdom. But before he went home, he promised to one day return and snatch away any and all who had believed on his name. He also said that it would happen quickly, in the twinkling of an eye. He told them something else, that it would appear as though he had come as a thief in the night to everyone who refused to accept the Son's free gift of everlasting life. Before leaving, he comforted them by promising that his Spirit would live within the hearts of all who believed on his name. That way, those who would one day live in his Father's kingdom would never be alone as they waited anxiously for his return. Shortly after the Son went home, the Comforter that the Son had promised came to them. They were so filled with joy that they immediately began to build the church on the solid foundation that he had given them. So, what was that solid foundation? The king's son came and lived a perfect life free from evil. He then gave his life in payment for all of the wrong things that mankind had done. But each one of us, had to accept the Son's free gift by believing that he truly had done this great thing for them. So all they had to do was believe in their hearts that the king's son was indeed who he said he was, and then call upon his name for forgiveness and accept his free gift of eternal life. This is the solid foundation of the Son's church, and the church was built upon it. In this land, far from the beautiful kingdom, there lived many people that the great king loved. But among them there lived one who had once lived in the beautiful kingdom. On the outside he was more handsome than all who had ever lived in the beautiful kingdom. But inside he was an ugly, evil, lying dragon. His desire was to climb to the highest mountain in the kingdom and take the throne from the great king. A great war broke out in the beautiful kingdom, but the powerful king defeated that dragon of old. Then the king threw him and all that followed him out of the kingdom. So the dragon dwelt among the people that the king loved in the land far away from the kingdom. The dragon now hated everything that the king loved. So he wandered to and fro, seeking all that he might destroy. A man named Mohammed saw the Son's church and desired that people would follow him and regard him as greater than the king's son. He acquired an unusual stone and tried to start a church that worshiped the moon by saying that the stone came from the moon. Muhammad soon learned that people wouldn't listen to his lies, so his scheme for power over other men was about to die. The stone was as black as the darkness in the dragon's heart. So the dragon began to whisper to Muhammad that he needed to mix a little truth with the lies. And Muhammad copied some of the solid foundation from under the Son's church and mixed his lies with what he had copied. And the people began to believe the lie. Then the dragon added a few things of his own to this new false religion. Things like controlling people with hate and fear rather than giving them freedom in love. The dragon then created another lie by calling himself the true king of the beautiful kingdom. He even lied about his name, calling himself Allah. This new false religion promised something to anyone who died while killing people that loved the true king or his son. This was another lie. The lie was that they would live forever in a paradise filled with many pleasures. The dragon actually knew that if they ever found the truth before they died, they could escape the fact that he would get their souls and would torture them for eternity. So many of them have found out that it was a lie after it was too late. The dragon added many other lies as well. The stench of this false religion smelled like raw sewage to the great king, but people that he loved were trapped in the dragon's lie. So he waited, hoping that they would find their way to his son's true church and receive everlasting life in the beautiful kingdom. Another man named Joseph found a stone in the darkness of a well and began to hide it in his hat while chasing it in with his face. His greatest desire was to have the riches of this world, so he used it to help him and his dad find hidden treasure. The dragon noticed that this stone was also black, but when the dragon looked closer, he noticed that mixed with the black was the brown color of raw sewage, and the dragon was filled with glee. So the dragon began to whisper in Joseph's ear to gain his trust. In time, the dragon told Joseph that if he wanted the wealth and power that he was seeking, he needed to create a false foundation as a companion to the true foundation of the Son's church, and then mix the two together. He would use the black stone smeared with the color of raw sewage to make his own false religion, and then mix the two just like the colors of the stone. The dragon again added his own lies to this new false religion by telling Joseph to say that the dragon and the king's son were brothers. In that way, the king's one and only son would look like less, and the dragon would look like more. He even told Joseph to tell the people that the true words of the son were not reliable, and that the dragon's lies were more true than the words of the king. The dragon added many other lies as well. The stench of this false religion smelled like raw sewage to the great king, but people that he loved were trapped in the dragon's lie. So he waited, hoping that they would find their way to his son's true church and receive everlasting life in the beautiful kingdom. The dragon still attacks the foundation of the Son's true church and has done so much damage. Even those who believe in the name of the Son have been convinced that they have to work at keeping their names written in the book that lists everyone who's eligible to enter the beautiful kingdom. They believe this, even though the king's son promised that nothing could ever snatch them out of his hands. The dragon has been so successful at adding the raw sewage of lies to the solid foundation of the Son's church, that the time has come and is here now when people no longer will put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they gather around them a great number of teachers who say what their itching ears want to hear. This I know also, that in these last days perilous times have come. People are lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to their parents, unthankful and unholy. They no longer have a natural affection. People are truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, and despisers of all those that are good. They have become traitors, heady, high-minded, and lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. The dragon has so polluted the foundation of the true church that very few find and believe the truth. There are way too many now that have a shallow, empty form of godliness. They now deny the power of the King and His Son. From them you must turn away. The stench has grown too strong. Even though people are still trapped in the dragon's lie, the great King has waited as long as He can and plans to take those whose names are written in the great book home, out of this evil land, and they will forever live with Him in His kingdom. Give your life to Christ. There's no more time for you to drag your feet. Your name can still be written in the book of life. For now. Jesus is coming for His people. Any moment now. You don't want to be left behind. Please trust Grandpa Bill on this one thing. God bless.
He was warmer than a summer breeze. He was softer than his silver hair. He was brighter than the twinkle in his eye as he rested in his easy chair. And I remember how he used to smile and tell me all about the folks back then. And if I had my way, you know I'd be there today, and I'd do it all over again.